Championships, and it's a true nail biter. We maybe didn't see it coming, but
we totally didn't see it coming.
Yeah, 1 game to go. 5-time national champion Nigel Richards taking on 1-time national champion, but one of the greats of the game, Joel Sherman.
Oh my God, he's absolutely one of the greats of the game, and it goes to show you Scrabble is not a game just for the 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds. It's a game for anyone, and as long as you can keep the brain cells up, you can keep winning in this game. And of course, it's a sedentary game, so it's a little bit easier on the muscles.
Yeah.
We're obviously waiting for Joel to show up. That's
Joel's not currently sitting at the table, but we'll get there eventually.
There we go. That is not a proxy for Joel playing at a remote table.
Yeah. But we do want to say, if you've been enjoying what you've been seeing so far the last couple of days, bit.ly/Scrabble Connect. We'll try to hook you up with some cool things happening in the Scrabble world. Scrabble tournaments happen all over the world, and we highly encourage you to come get involved. It's just a great group of people. Josh is not a bot; he's a real human being. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at him right now. Although I could see like Josh bot. I could see that being a thing. No, he's a great dude, and we're getting started. Nigel.
We're gonna see Rookie go down.
Yeah, Nigel won the draw to go first.
Oh, did they do a draw? Did they need to?
Yeah, because it's usually 15 and 15 firsts, or 15 firsts and 15 seconds.
Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but this time it did. So we're going to see
yeah.
Rookie for sure, which actually compares Rookie or Rookiest.
He maxed out yesterday around 6,200 viewers, which is great. It's really nice that we can make that happen.
All right. So the good news is, for Joel, on his side of it, is that he picked the Q with the U. The bad news is he picked it with a mitt full of stuff that ain't going to play through much. The question then becomes, if he does pass, does he get rid of the QU? That's an interesting question. If you had the QU, you can get it. It won't be a part of the end game. It won't be, would you hold on to it?
Oh, QUE for sure. Yeah, it's great. I actually did it like twice in 2 games recently. It was really weird.
Toastier for Nigel.
But Joel's going to play queer for sure.
That's absolutely the right thing to do. So there goes Toastier. So, what did I tell you? This knack for blocking the right place.
Oh, it was also the only play.
As it happened, I'm not saying, but often the best play for him would be to block, often even rows that are not what you would consider to be the most dangerous one. Yeah,
and this is a clear situation where the fact that they're playing TWL, the American Dictionary, changes things. In Collins, you'd have out of sight here through the U. Some other things, but in this case, Nigel's left with
not much.
Nothing.
No doubles through the K. The closest would be Okiest. So now he's got a bunch of. This is the bones of a very, very good rack. There's just a few things in there, the O, the extra T, that are preventing him from making it into a really, really good rack. The question, though, becomes, and this is where the art of the game is, how does he get rid of those undesirable tiles, make the most points, and set himself up?
Yeah.
Nigel, you'll see, is frequently, we haven't seen it too much, these obvious setups where he's got a high-scoring tile and he's setting it up. We haven't seen it today, but we'll see how he does it today. He's going to play Tycho, which, could be...
Well, the funny thing is, and I'm sure there are red lights going off in Joel's head right now, is usually if Nigel makes a play like that, he has the Z hanging out on his rack. If I was playing against Nigel right now, I'd be like, oh God, he has the Z, he has the Z, he has the Z, he has the Z. And I would probably do everything in my power to block the spot. Ironically, of course, he doesn't have it. And it was a good play, just the same.
But I know that Nigel actually enjoys, and he's told me this, he enjoys doing this kind of play and watching people scramble to block him.
Tycho got added to TWL, I believe. And you can see actually immediately Joel's play is trying to block the Z for sure. There may have been better ways of doing it. That seemed kind of risky, but...
Yeah, he's saving, obviously, 2 vowels. He would have loved to have just gotten rid of a couple of vowels and saved the RN, which are very nice tiles. But a man's got to do what a man's got to do.
Yeah. So Nigel picked up 3 I's, which kind of sucks, and Joel's looking like he's...
No, that's not going to... Let's see what he's got.
I think we'll probably see Nigel play GI and QI. The question is, and another vowel pickup from Joel. So right now, neither of them are doing too well in terms of bingoing.
It's very interesting what Nigel just did, because Rainey takes the G in front.
Yeah.
And I think most people would have held on to that G in order to keep the hook alive. But
And Nigel's drawn another I and another E, so I think we'll probably see an exchange from Nigel next turn. The question is...
I think he should have probably made the exchange already.
Yeah, I mean, I think variance-wise, you do bingo a fair bit after EIIST. It's just when it doesn't bingo, it is pretty bad. Again, bingoing, playing all the tiles at once for the 50-point bonus, which we haven't seen here yet, despite some decent-looking opening racks for both players.
So probably the best bet for Joel right now is to play Kui on row 13 underneath R and TAE. The question is, with Nigel futzing around like that, playing off two tiles, he knows that the man is grooming his rack.
And you know that's exactly what Joel is thinking right now, and I honestly won't be surprised if we see like an exchange 3 or something.
And I think we'll see Nigel do the same thing as well, saving IEST.
Yeah, Nigel's will be swift and obvious.
So, he's
Olio.
Okay.
So I think that's a very reasonable play from Joel. Doesn't open too much up. Keeps, a very decent leave, all things considered. But I don't think this will change anything for Nigel. I would be shocked if he did anything other than exchange.
And if this vowel picking doesn't stop soon, we're going to have a very clunky endgame with lots of heavy.
Yeah.
So let's hope he picks some... even 4 consonants would be fine. 2, 3, 4. Maybe not those, but...
Well, he drew a bingo. I just don't know if it's Collins or not. He's Rectrix.
Yep. No, yeah. Oh, you're right. He did.
But I don't think it's going to play anywhere, unfortunately, for Joel.
But look how quickly he found that. So typical.
Yeah.
He can't take advantage of the spot on rookie and queer, the EO intersection, because there's no words.
But this time Nigel did draw a bingo, so...
Oh, Fellsight and lefties and leafist.
Yeah.
Yay, another wreck. And unless Joel can actually block it by playing Ox.
Yeah.
And that will do it.
But is he going to be able to score more points elsewhere that's going to make him...
I'm not seeing necessarily that he is, so... yes, obviously under Olio would be the obvious choice.
I don't know that Joel would feel able enough to block sacrificing so many points right now.
But it is an interesting, thoughtful thing to do. And we were talking when I bumped into him in the hallway in between games that we were very impressed by his thoughtfulness, and he actually was very touched. He says, I'm glad that came across because I really am thinking really, really hard each play. Yeah. What's the best play?
Yeah. Queer lefties, your kind of game. Well, I mean, I don't think either of them are queer lefties, but I can certainly think of one.
X and XI have their problems, obviously, underneath Olio. Both of them opening up very, very dangerous spots. Yeah,
and I mean, that's the thing, especially for Joel, who's probably a bit more emotional about this game, is that it's hard to take a risk at any given moment.
Remember, this is not... Before it was, okay, I have to win one of 3. I know I can do it, I'm good enough, but is it likely? Probably not. But now, this is it. This is the final game, and wow, that's got to play on your brain something awful.
Yeah. Having been in the situation before where I had a winner-take-all game, I was pretty nervous.
I'm nervous.
to say the least. So I know how Joel is probably feeling. Nigel, of course, as we know, doesn't really care. He's just here
my heart is it's pounding. I'm nervous. Like remember we talked about that exquisite point in the game with this might be the turn this early in the game.
Yeah.
That could change things around.
Yeah.
Ox off the rookie will block everything.
But I just don't see why.
I don't see why he would do it.
Why would he do
for that exact reason?
Yeah.
Forcing him to bingo underneath Taos or to the E. At the worst case scenario, to the O in rookie and still opening the board beautifully. Exciting, eh? You think we're all crazy? You know, another thing that he can do is XI underneath GI.
Yeah. It's safer, but it does sacrifice quite a few
Sure
points.
it does.
Zerotic almost fits, but not quite.
Ooh, sexy.
Sexy queer lefties? What? Huh?
So we have a very slow start. I will give you the update in the CSW game, if for nothing else, to give us something different to talk about. And in that game, we have Jason Keller playing Evans Clinchy. I guess Jason now is not in any position to be a factor, so he's playing Evans. And starting extremely slowly with both players just passing off extraneous tiles, YYL for Jason and EIO for Evans. But then Evans picked another S, so he played SOG to start the game, which it's not always my favorite. I know we don't want to have two S's, but I really don't like giving up an S for 2 points.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Joel has finally decided to play XI.
It's going for the points.
Going for the points, and as might work out for him, he's going to have that spot for himself if he can draw the right tiles, which he...
so now we're starting to get the consonants. Here we go.
Yeah, and so it's going to be an early lead for Nigel, even though Joel's up 31 when Nigel bingo's here for roughly 80 points.
Would you play it off the queers or off Tychos to be safer? It's a good question. Definitely not Felsite off Tychos.
Yeah, I mean, it's maybe
Leafist off Tychos and not play lefties to queers?
Well, I mean, it's almost the same amount of points. It's only 3 points, I think.
Lefties opens up the triple, though. I would probably play to Tychos then, because it's very similar point. It's exactly, 3-point difference.
Yeah, I mean, if it's me playing against Nigel, I take lefties for 77, because I don't have a big enough lead to justify starting to close down the board.
It's not so much close down the board, but making it less volatile by not providing that triple row to the left of lefties to come down and maybe score 45 points.
Right. So if I'm playing Nigel and I don't have a big lead, I want the volatility.
Okay.
So that's...
What if you are Nigel?
If I'm Nigel here, I play Leafus for sure.
As he's putting down Leafus.
Oh, yeah, but I said that a minute ago, too.
All right, so Nigel's going to take the first early lead. And Evans Clinchy, his dump again of more vowels. Remember, he got rid of 3 vowels, picked up 3 vowels, played EUGE, which is Collins only, gave Jason Vainlets through the E. So Jason's up 73 to 29 at this point.
Well,
and has picked up D-worms naturally right after, which he did get down.
Nigel did not draw a bingo, but he's drawn TOPH for 50-something.
Yes,
doesn't
underneath
look like
OXO.
Joel can do much anything about it. So
see, what would you say? That one turn might be the difference in the whole game.
Yeah.
We don't blame Joel whatsoever for not playing Ox, but there was something there to consider very, very deeply.
If he had played, I mean, maybe you could see Toxic or something that scores well, keeps well.
Pre-cut is good too, I believe.
Yeah.
So he's setting up some volatility. He's played off the X, so he's not as worried about that spot next to the E and recut. Definitely we're going to get tough coming down. There's just no question about it. And Joel now has a bit of a hole to dig himself out of, and this pick will determine a lot about what... There we go, here we go.
Oh, there's
a blank and a vowel is exactly the first 2 things you need to pick up. Oh my God,
right.
unsnarl, okay. So
keeping it interesting. He's going to be down about a bingo, so this really should bring it back to a tie, assuming there's something that plays. Because
urinals, insular.
That's, I think, 54. So wow, this is good.
It is 54. Stuff. Beautiful. And it was the right thing to do. If he was going to play down there, for 2 reasons not to play X versus XI, one being simply it's better to get rid of an I than an E, and number 2, if you put the E to the just over the triple letter, and the person has MO or HO or whatever, it's worth so many more points.
So Joel, with his maximum scores here, will not be able to quite catch up to Nigel, but it will make it ostensibly a tie game. And I think
He's got purlins to make pre-cut. I don't know. It doesn't hit any double, but it might be. What does he have now that he can play to the right of Leafist?
he doesn't have Perlins. He has an A.
Oh, he's got an A. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Lurdans looks like it would max out the score. Slurbin, if he wants to go crazy, I don't think he's going to do that. I would expect to see Lurdans here for sure.
Yeah, because it doesn't open the triple and it maximizes doubling up letters L, A, I, N, and E, S.
Yeah. So right now, Joel's pretty much just iterating through all the possibilities because he knows all the words. It's more a question of finding all of them and finding the one that plays for the most points, which in this case,
He'll be at 183 with Lurdans.
yeah.
I did talk to him about his the time he took on that olefine rack, and he confirmed everything that we talked about.
Yeah.
That he said he could not believe that there was not a bingo in that rack. He just, he just was going over and over and over again, and then he was doing exactly what we said. Should I play foiled? Should I play faux? Should I play fee? That's everything we were talking about.
Yeah.
So confirming the great a deal of attention he put on that play.
We do have a version of Scrabble where if someone plays the blank and you have the letter, you can take the blank and swap it with the letter. It's for a different kind of Scrabble, but we have played with that variant before. But Lurdans does in fact come down.
Lurdans takes an E for Launders, and it's also Lurdanes is good. Okay, here we go again. Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
We did predict this, that
Yeah.
there was a lot of vowels early on. This is really bad for Joel.
It's kind of one of those situations where, like, as long as he's got one good scoring play every time, he can kind of keep pace, but he always needs to make sure he's still scoring. So, something like Jane or Jape next turn still scores, but it just keeps relying on him needing to have a good play every turn.
He cannot take advantage of Jin and La off of Leafist to make Raj or Haj or Taj. He might choose to, I don't know if it's worth it, to just play off some heavy consonants, keeping the AJ in order to pick up one of those letters to double the J in both directions. It doesn't seem...
And this is a pretty key play. I mean, I don't think
Every play is key.
Well, no, he can't do much about Nigel's bingo. That's the problem.
Oh, did he pick one up?
Yeah, he's got Ali Dad, yeah.
And does he have two places, though?
Above and below the M, so I don't see how you're going to block the spot above the M. It won't score as much.
Yeah, but this...
there's no way Joel would block that with only one vowel.
So we might be looking... Our first prediction right now, Nigel's looking to be the strongest to be winning this tournament right now.
Yes, Nigel would know that Tofacious was Collins. Oh yeah, Alidad is in the way on the other side. I'm an idiot. That said, the top spot. Eyes are hard.
Really? Someone had to look up Mauve, or was it Aerolith? Okay.
Interesting suggestion from former champion Brian Capoletto of Penning through the E and the I and the N. Saves the vowel, saves good plays for next turn. Pretty remarkable play, honestly.
Brian, come back, Brian.
Yeah, we'd love to see. I sadly only got to play against Brian in tournaments a couple of times back before I was any good too. But yeah, I think if Joel finds Penning, I wouldn't be surprised if he went for it. I think he has the J, the A, and the P spelled out for Jape as a potential, although the P, the N, and the G are also spelled out as well.
So I think he's going to take quite a bit of time on this rack, even though he's got mostly consonants. There isn't a huge amount to think about. I'm looking through the O, E, and Rookie and Leafists and Jin, but I don't think I'm seeing anything there. Obviously, the goal would be to save the vowel, if possible. Another problem with Jape is, a problem with, okay, number one, it would play the P that he could use to hook onto recut. Number two, it wouldn't undouble the N, which is what he just established here. And three, there are 4 Ds unseen, and it would be so easy just to make Japed ED in both directions a 40-point play. So I think this is a pretty good play. I think penning was more elegant and a better solution, but that was quite lovely.
Yeah, and here comes Alidad. So it's really going to be up to Joel here to draw at least one vowel.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
He's got gem. If he just draws one vowel, he'll kind of, still be hanging around. If he draws no vowels here, we're headed towards GG territory sooner than we'd like. So we'll see in a sec. This makes the score 287 for Nigel, 210 for Joel. So again, one vowel, that's, good enough for right now. He still can get down big for a bunch of points, PNST, if he can get a couple more vowels.
He would love to use off 3 consonants, however.
He would love to, but
he can't. Nem means no in Hungarian, I believe. Or maybe it means yes. Okay, not much to think about here. Still has the P hook for pre-cut. Listen, you pick a vowel, you pick a blank, you bingo off recut, you're back in business.
Yeah.
He's got the S hook off tau. He's got the ES, S hook off ES.
Mauves also is going to be hard to do much about.
Yeah. He's got the E to play through in mauve, even more importantly for him right now. But he needs, and that needs to be
vowel.
A vowel.
Well, I mean, if it wasn't going to be a vowel, the Z was about
you're so sweet
as
to
good
say
as
that.
It could be.
So he's got res on top from Alidad.
Or just zap even right through it, keeping ENRST. You might consider sacrificing. You wouldn't do that?
Zap through the A in Alidad?
Yeah, for 28, not giving back a huge spot.
I understand. Well, how is it not? You can make a 3-letter word, 36 points for...
That's true, yeah.
He would have whiz.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. But this is actually a good situation for Joel. If he's I wish he had one more vowel, but if he's able to play the Z for good points, saving a beautiful rack, pick a blank, bingo, he's right back in it. He's only he's more than 40 points off because it's Nigel's turn.
Yeah, I mean, what you're probably going to see here is White is going to come down and it's going to set up Zap in Zap in 2 spots, but likely he'll take the spot above for 50 points. So Joel is actually going to gain some points on Nigel here. Despite Nigel's playing for 34,
he's going to play Zap.
33, 34.
And there's no way for Joel, unfortunately. If he had an I, he could have played Zine on and Lie for a ton of points. 58 points.
But, Zep leaving 4 scoreable consonants is not bad, all things considered. And, Nigel he's not drawing anything very bingo friendly, but tiles he can score with, which having about a bingo lead is he kind of just wants to keep that so that if and when Joel does bingo.
So Joel has 52.98 now. So he's still a healthy turn behind. He absolutely the blank now is almost required.
Yeah, and amazingly, I believe that was the last E of the game. Unseen to him is just 1 that Nigel has. So it's Joel's gonna need something really good here to happen because Nigel's just gonna keep scoring.
He picked the tiles really quickly out of the bag. I know for such an important draw, here's a consonant B. That's not good. I probably would have taken my time picking those tiles. Yeah, I think this was everything. This turn.
He's gonna have to go for probably a miracle out bingo, which would be playing all your tiles out to end the game.
He doesn't even have something off paw to make pawn.
Yeah.
Bont isn't good. It's exactly the kind of thing he needs. He doesn't have it.
Thank you, C-Corax. We trying our best here, trying to have some fun.
Yeah, the game has been going very quickly. You'll see that Nigel's only used up less than 10 minutes. Joel a little less than 15, little less than 14.
Yeah.
So we've been bopping along here, and I haven't given you updates in the next game. But I don't think it's gone very far.
Yeah, and it also doesn't really doesn't really matter that much.
It doesn't matter,
either.
but just to give you an update, that Evans clinches at 233 to Jason Keller's 207. So it's a tight game. So he's going to play. Okay. So a lot of players now in this position, up by 30-ish points, would consider trying to find ways to close the board down. Nigel wants none of that.
Yeah, it's
He's
just
just
not really
scoring right now.
Yeah, it's not really, I think, a good way for him to do it, too. And he probably.
But this is why
he
people
probably
lose,
recognized
is
that,
my
yeah.
point.
Right, no, exactly. And that's something that I've certainly tried to capitalize on, is when people, if I'm losing and people try to shut off the board, I just kind of let them do it, and keep opening stuff up, keep scoring well. You know, you can make up points.
People sometimes forget it's not so much how much the other person scores, but how much you score.
Right.
And if you keep scoring 30, 40 points a turn, that person, even if they bingo, it's not going to make the difference, the gap close.
And I think one of the things Nigel was thinking here was, with Fumed, he kept an H and an E. That if you notice that V over in Mauve, if he draws one of the remaining A's or O's, which are, you know, pretty much the remaining vowels unseen,
Hove.
he's got another 34-point play, saving, you know, more strong tiles in reserve. And sure enough, that's
all he's going to need. He doesn't have to go for the bingo. Just keep scoring 30, 35.
Yeah.
And remember, 2 turns of 35 is a bingo. 70 points. It's
Yeah.
right there. So he's got Hove for the next turn if that's what he wants to do. Joel absolutely cannot afford to play a vowel right now.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, you know, most of his best scoring plays will play a vowel, but
So the
you just
remaining
can't
tiles that
really-
we're seeing include Joel's rack, I believe. So we have to figure out what's left. 2 A's, a G, an N, an S, and a V and a blank.
There's no S left. He has the S.
He's got the S. I apologize for saying that. Thank
There's
you.
the blank, though.
There's the blank, but there's also a V. And there's another N.
Yeah, in this case, Joel really needs that blank. So that's one situation which I could see him playing off the O, is just another shot at the blank. You know, Knob, Ab, and Joe does score pretty well. And unseen to Joel, there are quite a few vowels. He doesn't know what we know, which is that
There's just 2 A's in the bag, and that's it.
That Nigel has most of the vowels, which is unfortunate for Joel.
I predict he picks the V on the next pick. That's unfortunate. I just feel it.
So in a startling turn of events, Conrad has now become the optimist of the stream today. It's the most optimistic I've ever felt about virtually anything. Yeah, it is just a strange situation, because playing off the O is really, in a vacuum, you know, not knowing Nigel's tiles, probably the best play. I mean, Knob just scores really well.
Well, the question becomes, does he need to score to stay close, or is it enough to balance the rack and get the 70-point bingo to go out? Is that enough to win it? That's the question.
Yeah. I mean, the alternatives, you can play Nab through the A for almost no points. That doesn't seem very good. You could fish off the B.
Well, Bone
with
and Bin
Brainy.
and No was blocked with Fumed. That
Yeah.
might have been a way to go.
Yeah.
Even Boner and get rid of one more tile.
Brainy and Blip would be good, again, in a vacuum, but not that many of the bingos will play, and if they do, it's for not very
No,
many
he can't
points.
save 5 consonants. He's got to get rid of
Yeah.
2. There's no question about it. The question really just becomes, does he play for more points, Knob underneath Jane, and sacrifice the O for the points? That's what he's going to do. I think I agree with that play.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's the right play. It just, we're sitting in a position where it doesn't feel like the right play. Like, we know it often isn't going to work out for him.
I think he needs to stay close, because otherwise the out bingo is not going to amount for much.
Yeah.
Because Nigel's about to get 35 points at
Yeah, and
least.
that's the question. I mean, if he draws, you know, a blank here, which he might, then he could become the next champion. If he doesn't, then Nigel's going to draw it. So it's those 3 tiles really could mean everything here.
A,
Nigel could.
A, that's
N.
not good. No.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's over, yeah.
and I think
I'm sure he thinks that Nigel has the blank.
Yeah, I noticed a tell from Joel there. I don't know if it was very obvious, but he put his tiles down a little harder. Not that Nigel should necessarily use that information, but it is.
No,
pretty,
he shouldn't use that
It
information.
is pretty clear, you know, from afar that Joel missed his fish. So now unseen to Nigel, still risky, and I think the funny thing for Nigel is that he doesn't really know that
We ordered the same thing.
Joel might not. Cool. Sorry, a little random coffee break in the middle of the stream. Apparently, I'm not really sure why. But our needs aside,
We're getting refreshment for the throat so that we can be mellifluous as we speak to you.
what Robin said, unseen to Nigel really is the blank, the S. He doesn't know that Joel doesn't have it, so Nigel needs to consider the situation that Joel does bingo.
So is that correct that there are 8 left? Those are the remaining tiles. Are we correct on that? I think we are.
Yeah.
So there's still tiles left. It's not...
Those aren't right, but
they're not correct?
no,
What's
because
wrong?
both W's are seen.
Both W's are seen. So maybe we can get that fixed? That the
unseen tiles means the other guy's wrapped. The guy who's not playing, he doesn't see them.
Well, that's not completely true.
Yeah.
But that's what the program does.
So what have we ascertained are the remaining tiles?
Yeah. Currently, the score is 342 to 321.
So there's 1 tile left? Is that...
That's definitely correct.
Okay. And what tile is that? Let's see if we can figure that out. If anybody out there can figure it out. Is it the G? I think it might be the G. Echoey.
So with Nigel playing echoey, what this means is he probably knows that he's blocking most, if not all, of the bingos. And
yeah.
and hoping that he's gonna score enough to win. And we know that he's about to pick out a blank.
That's what was left? Oh, and a V. R. Okay, we weren't expecting that.
Oh, he didn't get the blank. Wow, who would have
Okay,
thought?
so we don't know what's left in the back. Wow, how many tiles are left? Let's try to figure this
I
out.
believe there's like 1 in the bag, and he just left the blank in the bag.
I'm going to count 6. I'm going to count what's left.
So amazingly, Joel's playing really fast here.
87. There's still tiles left.
So Joel's now down 2.
I think there's 7 left. But they're all consonants.
Well, and a tile that doesn't have anything on it.
If he doesn't pick the blank. Oh, he doesn't want that. He wants that. Strings.
Wow.
Oh my god!
Joel's gonna win.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Wow.
Oh my god, he's got a bingo in 2 places.
Wow. Holy wow.
He emptied the bag. He gave him a place to score a ton.
Holy cow.
He almost has strings down. If HAI was a word,
Yeah.
he would have played own and eng.
Wow. Joel is, I think, just sitting here, just like shocked out of his
Oh my
ever-loving
God.
mind. I mean, Nigel left pretty much, a lot of draws that
And this is
Joel
why
get,
they put
yeah.
us in the basement this year.
Yeah. Yeah. This is #1 sport/game moment of the day in the world.
If Nigel had picked the blank and not the V,
Yeah.
wow. Wow. So who's making a lot of money today? Wow.
I'm pissed. I'm gonna have to buy my friend lunch. This sucks. And I think the thing that's gonna get debated from here on out is playing echoey that fast. He had
Well,
easily opportunities to outrun a bingo, and he opted not to do that. So
I do also want to give props to Evans Clinchy in the CSW game. Through discontiguous A and E along the triple 1 row, played equalizer, making the blank a Q.
Yeah.
It's pretty. A
But,
nice play for a champion.
yeah, but in terms of champions, we're about to have a new one as he puts down.
I'm watching Nigel really closely.
Yeah,
But Nigel knows.
Nigel knows. He knew. So I'm buying my friend lunch because I lost a bet that I didn't think it was going to happen, but I saved myself many hundreds of dollars as a result.
Let's look at Joel. He's going to throw down the pen. Watch this.
And it's been 16 years for Joel since he last won a national championship, and in one of the great performances in the history of our board game. Joel has won 3 games in a row against Nigel.
Here
He's going to
comes
win. He's going to win $10,000, and is our new 2018 national North American Scrabble champion.
And good news for us, he'll talk to us.
Yeah, and it's good news for us because we'll actually have someone to interview because Nigel does not do interviews.
Oh, and I was not going to stay for the award ceremony, but now, like, just to watch. He's a very poignant man, Joel.
I will be staying too, given who I'm driving home with. We agreed.
You're staying
Yeah.
to the end. Joel is, if you got to see his interview that ran a couple of times, he's a very poignant man. He understands the significance of things. He's spoken poignantly about himself that Scrabble has given his life purpose. It's given his existence meaning, because he knows, he used to work. He hasn't worked for a long time. He's at home, and this has just, I think, given another 10 years to his life. I'm just so delighted for him. I'm sorry for Nigel. You're a brilliant player. Nobody needs to even say the obvious. And you both played absolutely beautifully. What can we say? They both, we just had the best possible 3 games to annotate today.
Yeah. Two great guys winning. And I suspect we're going to be hearing from Joel in just a minute or two. I know he probably needs to process things for a minute here, but I'd love to, pick his brain on a